Dear students, I am P. Sriramamurthy, botany lecturer, Gayatri Medical Academy. Today our topic is cell cycle and cell division. Cell cycle is the sequence of events that includes synthesis of DNA and the synthesis of other cell organelles and constituents of cell, eventually divides into two daughter cells. Right. So cell cycle is common in all cellular organisms. Even in prokaryotes, as well as some protozoans, you can observe amitosis. In protozoans, nucleus elongates directly, divides into two nuclei. Similarly, in protozoans, as well as in bacteria, that is prokaryotes, you can observe binary fission, direct division. The nucleoid undergoes replication followed by direct cell division without intervention of spindle formation. But whereas in eukaryotic organisms, you can observe the most important divisions that includes mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis helps in growth and development of organisms, whereas meiosis is common in all sexually reproducing organisms. So here, mitosis is also known as a somatic cell division because it commonly occurs in vegetative cells of the organism. In animals, it occurs in diploid cells generally, but in some haploid social insects like male honeybees known as drones, you can observe mitosis. But whereas in plants, mitosis is common in both haploid as well as diploid cells. In plants, reproductive cells. In higher plants or in lower plants, you can observe haploid cells that also undergo mitosis. But anyway, cell cycle includes two basic phases. One is interphase, second one is M phase. Interphase, maybe divisionally it is inactive. It appears as resting phase, but actually it is not resting phase. Cell prepares for the division. That's why even genetically, normally biochemically, it is most active phase. 95% of the cell cycle duration is in interphase. Just 5% of the cell cycle duration is in M phase. So interphase, it is the phase between two successive M phases. That means it occurs prior to M phase, that is mitotic phase, and also it occurs after mitotic phase, before undergoing second mitotic phase. So here, if you observe, interphase is also divided into three subphases, G1, S, G2. G1 is also longest phase, but its duration is variable. It varies from organism to organism and cell type to cell type. So here, in G1 phase, cell growth occurs and it is metabolically active. That means RNA protein synthesis occurs and some cell organelles are also being synthesized in G1 according to NCERT. So G1 is also considered as post-mitotic phase, or it is the phase between M phase and initiation of the synthesis or replication of DNA. Second one is S phase. S phase is also known as the synthetic phase, where DNA duplicates. If the initial amount of DNA in G1 phase is 2C, it becomes 4C in S phase. Or you can say, if it has 20 picograms of DNA earlier, it becomes 40 picograms of DNA in S phase. Here, we must consider chromosomal replication is nothing but a DNA duplication, or the chromosome becomes having two sister chromatids, but they are not visible clearly. So DNA duplicates, and similarly in animals, DNA duplication occurs in the nucleus and centrosome duplication occurs in the cytoplasm. In plants, centrioles and centrosomes are generally absent. So in G2 phase, it is considered as pre-mitotic phase. And in G2 phase, RNA protein synthesis continues. Similarly, cell synthesizes energy which is required for the activities of M phase. Right. So next is M phase. M phase stands for mitotic phase. And mitosis, it occurs in two stages. One is karyokinesis. Second one is cytokinesis. Karyokinesis is nothing but nuclear division. Cytokinesis is nothing but cytoplasmic division. Then only we can get two daughter cells which are similar to the parental cell prior to the interphase, qualitatively, quantitatively. So here, in mitosis, to study the mitosis, the best suitable part in higher plants is root apex. Because all the cells in the meristem that is present in the root apex, they continuously divide. If you want to observe mitotic phases, it is the best suitable part. Mitosis is also known as equational cell division because The chromosomal number in the daughter cells is almost equal to the parental cell. The haploid cells that undergo mitosis in higher plants include pollen grain or microspore, generative cell, which divides mitotically, giving two male gametes. Similarly, megaspore, the first cell of female gametophyte, which is haploid, it undergoes 7 mitotic divisions or 3 times mitotic divisions, forming 8 nucleated 7-celled embryo sac. So these are considered as the reproductive cells of higher plants that can also undergo mitosis. In lower plants, algae is a gametophyte, haploid. For the growth and development, the gametophytic cells, if they are multicellular, undergo mitotic divisions. Even in fungi, bryophytes are also gametophytes. They also undergo mitotic divisions. Higher plants are sporophytes. They naturally undergo mitotic divisions. So, the mitotic division is divided into 2 phases. One is karyokinesis, that is nuclear cell division. It is a progressive cell division. It becomes difficult to demarcate or to separate or to draw, to demarcate different stages. For the sake of our convenience, we can again divide the karyokinesis into prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Prophase, for example, 4 chromosomes are present in the cell. The chromatin, it becomes spiralized or condensed or untangled to differentiate into chromosomes. But chromosomes are still long, slender. It's difficult to count the number. It's difficult to separate the chromatids. The chromatids of a chromosome are considered as sister chromatids. To identify sister chromatids, it is difficult. But each chromosome has 2 sister chromatids, 2 DNA molecules, 1 centromere. Centromere is the part to which the 2 sister chromatids are connected. So 4 telomeres are present, 2 DNA molecules. Those DNAs were formed in S phase. So chromatids are also formed in S phase only. In the late prophase, nuclear membrane disrupts. The centrioles, which have become duplicated in S phase, they are migrated towards poles and radiate asters. So these radiating filaments combine with the spindle fibers, forming a spindle apparatus. But complete orientation of spindle apparatus can be clearly observed in metaphase only. The migration of centrioles towards poles is observed in the late prophase. The disappearance of nuclear membrane, nucleolus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex in the late prophase. So condensation, spiralization, disintegration of nucleolus, disruption of nuclear membrane, disappearance of endoplasmic reticulum, migration of centrioles towards opposite poles. These are all occurring in the prophase. Next is in metaphase, if you observe, a spindle apparatus which is known as astral spindle apparatus or amphiastral spindle apparatus in animals. But anastral spindle apparatus is formed in plants. Chromosomes align at the equator. Each chromosome is connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber, which is also known as chromosomal fiber, as it is attached to the chromosome from one pole, and its sister chromatid connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber from opposite pole. So that means the sister chromatids are intact. The chromosomal condensation is maximum. That's why it is the best suitable stage to count the number of chromosomes. So, because of the alignment of chromosomes at the equator, metaphase plate is formed, or you can say equatorial plate. Right. So, complete orientation of the spindle apparatus, maximum condensation of chromosomes, formation of metaphase plate or equatorial plate. These are the changes that occur in metaphase. Next is anaphase. During anaphase, the chromosomal fibers contracts. So a pressure is exerted on centromere. As a result, sister chromatids get separated and they migrate towards their opposite poles. So segregation of sister chromatids, separation of sister chromatids, centromere division, migration of sister chromatids, also known as daughter chromosomes, as they are having their own centromere, and their movement towards opposite poles. These are all the changes that occur in anaphase. By the end of anaphase, the daughter chromosomes or the sister chromatids have reached their opposite poles or have reached their respective poles. If you observe, compare metaphase and anaphase, chromosomal number in the cell becomes doubled. in anaphase cell. The number of DNAs in metaphase and anaphase exists in 1:1 ratio. Chromosomal number in metaphase and anaphase exists in 1:2 ratio. Chromatid number in metaphase and anaphase exists in 1:1 ratio. Centromeres are also now doubled. If you observe the diagram, centromeres are 4. Kinetochores are 8. Centromeres are 8. Kinetochores are 16. So here, at each pole, you can observe the chromosomes, daughter chromosomes. If you compare the chromosomal number at each pole in anaphase, is similar to the parent cell. So this is the anaphase. And in telophase, chromosomes lose their identity. They decondense. They despiralize. And they form chromatin material again. Nuclear envelope reappears. Nucleolus reappears. Endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex reappears. 2 daughter nuclei formation. And here, even though the initiation for cytokinesis, that is cytoplasmic division, is observed in anaphase, a furrow can be observed at the end of telophase, or you can say late telophase. So these are the changes that occur in telophase. This is the nuclear division followed by cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is by furrow method, forming a contractile ring in animals. A furrow deepens, furrow grows from periphery towards the center. From periphery towards the center, that is centripetal growth of furrow. So plasma membrane separates cytoplasm as well as 2 daughter nuclei, forming 2 daughter cells. But whereas in the case of plants, a phragmoplast is formed, but Golgi vesicles and vacuoles, they form a plate-like structure in the center, which is known as a cell plate, made up of pectin. That means Golgi complex releases pectin. This cell plate grows from center towards periphery, that is centrifugally, touching the parental cell wall. It undergoes physical and chemical changes. So the major component in the cell plate is pectin, that the major inorganic element in the cell plate is calcium. So you can observe calcium pectate and it transforms into middle lamellum, which is the first formed layer of the cell wall in plants, or it is the cementing material adjoining the cells in a tissue. So that is regarding cytokinesis. If you observe mitosis, the genotype in all cells of a multicellular organism remains same, that is due to mitosis. The chromosomes of all the cells of a multicellular organism remain same, that is due to mitosis. Mitosis helps in growth and development of an organism. Mitosis also helps in cell repair. We know already, heart cell, nerve cell, generally they do not divide at all. But fibroblastic cells, they divide whenever required. They enter the cell cycle. So some cells, after division, they exit the G1 temporarily, enters the G0, or they may suspend the cell cycle, which is G0 stage is nothing but quiescent stage, where metabolically very active, but divisionally not active. Whenever requirement is there, their cells again enters into cell cycle. Next thing is the upper layers of the epidermis, lining layer of the gut cells, blood cells. They are replaced continuously. So automatically you can observe mitotic cell division. Similarly, root apex or stem apex or axillary bud, full or rich in meristem, those cells also undergo mitotic cell division. So this is the significance of mitosis. So there ends the mitosis. And now let us enter into meiotic cell division. Meiosis is also known as germinal cell division because it occurs in reproductive cells. Meiosis is the important cell division which is inevitable in all sexually reproducing organisms. Meiosis is not possible in haploid cells, but it occurs in haploid organisms. Meiosis generally occurs in diploid, tetraploid, hexaploid cells where even number of sets of chromosomes are present. Meiosis is also known as reductional cell division where the chromosomal number of parental cell is reduced to half in daughter cells. The cell in which meiosis occurs is known as meiocyte. Based on the type of meiocyte, meiosis may be zygotic meiosis, where zygote is the meiocyte. In lower plants, particularly most of algae where haploantic life cycle is seen, zygote is the meiocyte. Similarly, sporic meiosis, where spore mother cells are the meiocytes. In Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, Angiosperms. In pteridophytes, two types of meiocytes are observed from Pteridophyta onwards. Pteridophytes are the first group of plants where two types of meiocytes are present. Microspore mother cell and mega or macrospore mother cell. Particularly in heterospore pteridophytes. So all gymnosperms are heterospores and all angiosperms are heterospores. Similarly, gametic meiosis is observed in very, very few plants and most of animals where gamete mother cells are the meiocytes, where meiosis occurs in gonads. So these are the three types of meiotic divisions based on the type of meiocyte. Prior to the meiotic cell division also you can observe interphase. Generally, meiosis is the prerequisite prior to fertilization in most of organisms, where half the number of parental chromosomes are present in gametes, and again the parental chromosome number is restored after fertilization. So in this nuclear division, cytoplasmic division occurs twice, whereas DNA replication occurs once. Similarly, daughter chromosomes are formed once. Centromere divides once. Pairing of homologous chromosomes occur once. So generally during fertilization, haploid set of chromosomes they combine with another haploid set present in another gamete, forming diploid zygote. There, chromosomes are present in pairs. So in humans, 23 pairs are present. Each pair, you can consider both the chromosomes are structurally and functionally similar, but each of which is derived from both maternal and paternal sources. They are known as homologous chromosomes. So here, again, for the sake of our convenience, you can divide karyokinesis and cytokinesis. We have discussed already cytokinesis, types of cytokinesis in plants and animals. One is by Furrow method and another one is by cell plate method. So here, meiosis one is complex. It is also known as heterotypic cell division because dyad of cells are formed which are dissimilar among themselves qualitatively, dissimilar with the parents, both qualitatively and quantitatively. So meiosis 1 is also divided into prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Prophase 1 is complex when compared to the prophase of mitosis. Prophase 1 includes so many sequential events. For the sake of our understanding, you can divide them into 5 substages. One is leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotene and diakinesis. Leptotene. Condensation or spiralization of chromatin into chromosomes begin. Chromosomes are long and slender, but they cannot be separated completely. Bucket stage is observed. Chromomeres are observed. And second one is zygotene. Pairing of homologous chromosomes occur, known as a synapsis. Synapsis is followed by the formation of a protein complex known as a synaptonemal complex. So pairing or synapsis results in bivalence because 2 chromosomes, one from male gamete and another from female gamete, which are similar in structure and function, they are present together. Number of bivalents is equal to its haploid number. Here 2n is equal to 4, n is equal to 2. So 2 bivalents are formed. You can say these bivalents as tetrads also because each bivalent has 4 chromatids. But these chromatids are not clearly visible in zygotene. They are clearly visible in next very important stage, lengthiest phase of prophase 1, that is pachytene. So in pachytene, tetrads are clearly visible. So each bivalent has 2 chromosomes, 4 chromatids, 4 DNAs, 2 centromeres and 8 telomeres. So here each centromere has 2 kinetochores, so totally 4 kinetochores are present. The chromatids of same chromosome in a bivalent are known as sister chromatids. The chromatids of different chromosomes in the bivalent are known as non-sister chromatids. Non-sister chromatids will try to exchange their genes or chromatin material. That's why at places recombination nodules are formed. These recombination nodules are the point of exchange of genetic material. The process of exchange of genetic material between non-sister chromatids in a bivalent or in a homologous pair of chromosomes is known as crossing over. So here, crossing over results in the gene recombinations. This happened with the help of a complex enzyme, recombinase, which is a combination of endonuclease and ligase. So here, this recombination of genes results in variations in the organisms. So during these variations, already existing characters will exchange. No new character will interpret. So it results in the variations in the organisms that finally led to evolution. So, clear visibility of tetrads, formation of recombination nodules, activity of recombinase, reason for variations, these are all happened in Pachytene. Similarly, after Pachytene, diplotin is seen. In diplotin, chromosomes condense maximum. Dissolution of synaptonemal complex or desynapse occurs in diplotin. The homologous chromosomes will separate from each other except at the site of recombination nodules. As a result, you can observe X-shaped structures known as chiasma. You can say chiasma are the morphological indicators of crossing over. Chromosomes also appear as X-shaped. Here in oocytes of vertebrates, diplotin completes for months or years because of the intervention of Lambrus chromosomes where RNA and protein synthesis continues. So in this diplotin, still chiasma or recombination nodules are present, but in Pachytene itself, exchange has been completed. So chromosomes are shorter and thicker. In meiosis 1, if metaphase 1 is not given, you can opt for diplotin. So in this, next is diakinesis. In diakinesis also, chromosomes present in bivalent move away from each other. As a result, chiasma move towards the telomeric ends. The displacement of chiasmata towards the chromosomal ends is known as terminalization. So chromosomes in a bivalent are still attached with their telomeric ends. Disruption of nuclear membrane and chromosomes in the form of pairs hanging, and you can observe almost the formation of spindle apparatus, but you can say it as transition to metaphase 1. So in this, in metaphase 1, a bipolar spindle apparatus is observed, chromosomal pairs are bivalents. They are aligned at the center or at the equator or at the equatorial plane. You can differentiate metaphase 1 with the metaphase 2 of meiosis and metaphase of mitosis. In this, the chromosome of a bivalent is connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber from one pole, and another chromosome of the same bivalent is connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber from another pole. So that means one chromosome is not linked with the two spindle fibers. One chromosome in a bivalent is connected to one spindle fiber from one pole. Another chromosome of the same bivalent is connected to spindle fiber from another pole. So here up to metaphase 1, from pachytene up to metaphase 1, the homologous pair of chromosomes are still attached with each other. So you can say chiasmata at the ends are present in metaphase 1. So chiasmata are present, clearly visible in the protein, but recombination nodules appear in pachytene. The chromosomes of bivalents get separated only after metaphase 1. Bivalents exist here from zygotene up to metaphase 1. So come to the anaphase 1. The spindle fibers contracts, pulling the homologous chromosomes to their respective poles. As a result, chromosomes of a bivalent move in opposite direction. As in mitosis, here also centromere is towards poles and arms are trailing behind. So this separation and movement of homologous chromosomes to their respective poles is known as segregation of chromosomes, disjunction of chromosomes. Segregation and disjunction that follows the recombination results in variations. So in this, centromere will not divide. Only parental chromosomes are segregated. Daughter chromosomes are not formed. So here, the non-homologous chromosomes move to one pole and another pole respectively. So this is homologous pair. In this homologous pair, one chromosome to this pole and another chromosome to this pole. In this homologous pair, this chromosome to this pole and this chromosome to this pole. In this way, the actual diploid number of chromosomes become haploid in anaphase 1. The actual reduction in the chromosomal number occurs in anaphase 1. Segregation and disjunction of parental chromosomes occur in anaphase 1. Homologous chromosomes get separated in anaphase 1. So next, come to the telophase. The chromosomes which have reached their respective poles, they despiralize up to some extent, but not up to that extremity as seen in telophase of mitosis. So that's why here you can observe I have drawn in the chromosomal manner only. But they despiralize up to some extent. To know the chromosomal number, I have drawn in chromosomal diagrams only. So in this telophase, nuclear membrane reappears, nucleolus also reappears. The telophase is followed by cytokinesis. As a result, dyad of cells are formed, each with half the number of parental chromosomes. If you compare the chromosomal number after meiosis 1 with the parental cell, chromosomes are 4, chromosomes are 2, chromatids are 8, chromatids are 4. DNAs are 8. DNAs are 4. If 40 picograms of DNA are present after S phase there, in each cell of dyad, you can have 20 picograms of DNA. So these dyad of cells undergo brief interphase without DNA replication. The gap or the phase between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 is known as interkinesis. In interkinesis, there is no question of DNA replication. Right? Come to the meiosis 2. In meiosis 2, is almost equal to the or similar to the mitosis or homotypic cell division or similar to the equational cell division, but meiosis 2 occur in both the cells of dyad. So it is again divided into prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2 followed by cytokinesis. Come to the prophase 2. Prophase 2 is very simple as seen in mitosis compared to the meiosis 1. Condensation of chromatin into chromosomes occur. Nuclear envelope disrupts. Nucleolus disappear. Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum also disappear. That is common in the late prophase. Maybe prophase 1, maybe prophase 2 or in prophase of mitosis as well. So in this, both the cells, you can observe formation of spindle apparatus. Generally, during pollen tetrad formation, that spindle apparatus that are formed in meiosis II are perpendicular to the spindle apparatus that is formed in meiosis I. But in the ovule, a linear tetrad of megaspores are formed. So automatically the spindle apparatus that are formed in meiosis II are parallel to the spindle apparatus of meiosis I. Same, each chromosome or the chromosomes having sister chromatids, they align at the equatorial plane, forming equatorial plate or metaphase plate in both the cells. Similarly, in anaphase II, if you observe the metaphase II, the chromosomal alignment is similar to mitosis. You can observe each chromosome is connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber from one pole, and its sister chromatid is connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fiber from another pole. That means a single chromosome is joined with two minimum spindle fibers from opposite poles. But this is different from that of metaphase I. In anaphase II, the chromosomal fibers, they contract. Due to this, a pressure is exerted on centromere. Centromere divides, separating sister chromatids. The sister chromatids, they move in opposite poles. Because in each chromosome, one sister chromatid move to one pole and another sister chromatid move to opposite pole. So here, sister chromatids are separated in anaphase II. Daughter chromosomes are formed in anaphase II, in meiosis. In mitosis, we have discussed already. So here, each chromosome has only one chromatid, one DNA, one centromere, two kinetochores. So in this, two daughter chromosomes move to one pole, another two move to opposite pole in both the cells. So here, in telophase, by the end of anaphase II, the daughter chromosomes have reached their opposite poles or their respective poles, and they start decondensing, despiralizing in telophase II. They despiralize, they decondense, transforming into chromatin material. Nuclear envelope, nucleolus reappears. That means the changes that occur in the telophase II almost equal to the telophase of mitosis. So at the end of cytokinesis after meiosis II, tetrad of cells are formed. The cell of each tetrad is considered as haploid. If you observe or if you compare with the parental cell, in the parental cell totally 4 chromosomes, but here 2 chromosomes, 8 chromatids, only 2 chromatids. So there in the parental cell, the chromosomes and chromatids exist in 1:2 ratio, but in each cell of a tetrad, you can observe the chromosomal number or chromatid number exists in 1:1 ratio. Or if you want to compare both, the chromosomal number of parent cell and daughter cell in meiosis exists in 2:1 ratio, but number of DNA molecules of parental cell and daughter cell in meiosis exists in 4:1 ratio. So for example, from S phase, if you observe, if 40 picograms of DNA is present in the parent cell, in each cell of dyad, that is at the end of meiosis 1, 20 picograms of DNA is present, but whereas at the end of meiosis 2, or you can say at the end of meiosis, 10 picograms of DNA. So DNA exists in 4:1 ratio. Chromosomes exist in 2:1 ratio. Chromatids exist in 4:1 ratio. So here, if you observe, nucleus divides twice. First time in meiosis 1 and second time in meiosis 2. Parental chromosomal segregation occurs once in anaphase 1. Centromere divides once in anaphase 2. Sister chromatids get separated once in anaphase 2. Daughter chromosomes are formed once in anaphase 2. So in this, if you observe, the chromosomes that are present becomes haploid here, but actually haploid here. Only thing is the duplicated or replicated genomes must reach to the cells here in meiosis 2. So you can consider these as megaspores or pollen grains. If pollen grain undergoes mitosis, same is maintained. Prior to mitosis, interphase is observed. That is common. So if you observe, in the case of leptotin, condensation, bucket stage, chromomere appearance, in zygote, synapses or pairing of homologous chromosomes, bivalent formation or tetrad formation or homologous pair formation occurs. Similarly, in the metaphase 1, or you can say after zygote, phagocyte, clear visibility of tetrads, formation of recombination nodules, exchange of genetic material. Similarly, reason for variations in the organisms, crossing over, endonuclease activity, ligase activity observed in phagocyte. Desynapses or Lamprecht chromosomal formation are a delayed stage in meiosis 1 in certain oocytes of vertebrates, that is diplotin. Dissolution of synaptonemal complex is in diplotin, whereas formation of synaptonemal complex is in zygote. Terminalization, transition to metaphase, disappearance of nuclear membrane, nucleolus, diakinesis. Homologous pairs still attached with their telomere ends align at the equatorial plane in metaphase 1. Segregation or disjunction of parental chromosomes, diploid becomes haploid in anaphase 1. Formation of dyad of cells, each with half the number of parental chromosomes but having two sister chromatids. You can observe after meiosis 1. In meiosis 2 is similar to the mitosis. Right. If you observe the significance of meiosis, meiosis maintains a constant number of chromosomes in a particular species, even generations after generations, even though, or paradoxically say, the chromosomal number is reduced to half in meiosis, again restored during fertilization. That's why fertilization and meiosis are highly coordinated events. If meiosis fails to occur, the chromosomal number in every generation doubles. That leads to the undesirable polyploids. And because of the events that occur in Pachytene, variations in the organisms because of recombination of genes. The reason for evolution is the major important significance in meiosis. Right. So, mitosis as well as meiosis are the two important cell divisions that occur in all eukaryotic organisms. Meiosis is the most important division that occurs in all sexually reproducing organisms. You must remember the events that are observed in each stage and the chromosomal changes or behavior, particularly during prophase 1, and the DNA amount in each phase, you must remember. If you have diagrammatic representation in your mind, you can easily answer any question, particularly if you understand the question. Right.